Hello and welcome back to Stepford County Railway. I'm the Scottish Lord and today we're going to be covering the SCR 1.6 update. This update brings a brand new extension to Connect, which has 3 new stations, a new spawn for another 7 routes to Stepford Victoria. There are 8 new routes and an extra Class 68 exclusive route. There's been overhauls to stations. The entire rebrand for Waterline and Connect has happened. The Morgantown shuttle is now here. There's so much to cover, so we're going to do this in order of operator and then full network. So let's get into this. So starting off with Connect, we can see that all of our rolling stock has the brand new Stepford Connect livery, which looks really good on these trains, especially the Class 331-1, which is the pride of Stepford livery, replacing the Class 350 as the trainbow. Looking at the Class 68, it remains in its still typical network livery. However, the carriages are different, and this has a brand new exclusive route as well with the rest of the routes that have been released with the brand new extension. This has Route 36, and Route 36 is Willowfield to Lynn by the Sea, which is one of the longest routes in the game. Speaking of all these new routes, what we can see is that we have those new terminating routes from the extension, which are Stepford Victoria to Willowfield, Stepford Victoria to Beachley, Willowfield to Berrily, Willowfield to Stepford United, Willowfield to Port Benton, Beachley to Airport Central, Beachley to Morgantown, and Willowfield to West Wyvern. Other things that we've now got are terminating services southbound. When it comes to going to Lynn and back, we can now terminate at Leighton Stepford Road from Lynn by the Sea and West Wyvern. So, with that in mind, we're going to take one of these brand new trains. I think we'll take the Class 331-1, and we're going to have a very quick time-lapse look at the extension. However, before we get into that, I'm also going to take you to see here that we have the brand new Beachley sidings, which now allow us to depart in the direction of Stepford Victoria, and it's just a bit more convenient. And as we can see, we are in that lovely Pride in Stepford livery. So, let's make our way to Stepford Victoria. So here we are at Stepford Victoria, and you can already tell by looking through that it has had a bit of a redesign. We now have this wonderful airy section right in the sector of the station. Before it felt very claustrophobic, but now we have this wonderful glass window that really lets in the sun into the station. The exterior as well, we can see, has a brand new glass frontage with the brand new Stepford Victoria logo. As well as this, we have new station signs for network stations, which we can see here are Transport for Stepford stations. So this is only one station that we're going to be having a look at. We're going to now time-lapse forward to when we reach the brand new section. Also, you may note that a lot of surrounding scenery has been changed, which is a really nice touch on the part of the new developers. So here we are on the new extension. As you can see here, we've now got a little bit of an approach here as we make our way into Beachley. And the atmosphere around here is very much that of a suburban area of town. And I think it really does work with the atmosphere that the developers are trying to create.
This train has 4 coaches.
So as we come into here, and we just pull up to the 4-car stop, we can see that we also have the brand new Stepford Connect station signs, which they don't have the logo because they're not managed by the overall branching Stepford County Railway network, well, in-game anyway, but are managed by Stepford Connect. So as we depart, we can also note that this is a part terminus station with these 2 terminating platforms and a northbound and southbound platform.
This is a Connect train too.
For trains to pass through. You can see that now leaving Willowfield, we move into a 90-mile-an-hour speed limit, which we will need for this long stretch along to Hemden Park. So here we can see we are now on the approach to Hemden Park. We're just going to slow down to 45 miles an hour to enter the station, and slowing down while we're in the station here. As we can see, this is a more simple station than other ones, however it still has that lovely charm.
This is Hemden Park.
We can see it has a rather nice looking fountain in the surrounding area, as well as being home to Beachley Royal Upholstery House, which I think is a lovely little touch there. So then we depart in the direction of Willowfield, passing the stadium of Hemden Park Rangers. So here we are now on the approach to Willowfield, passing the likes of Uber Eats and Willowfield Shipping.
All change, please.
And I have to say, this is a station that oozes charm. I'm really quite fond of Willowfield as a station. It carries these lovely looking station clocks that show the real time, but I think what really finishes the station for me is this decal they've added onto the back here, which is "Welcome to the beautiful town of Willowfield." It really finishes the station quite well, as well as this lovely roof that has been shown in the likes of Slim by the Sea before. So from here you do then have the option to go to Berrily, Stepford UFC, Port Benton and West Wyvern, but we're not going to do that at the moment because we are now going to move on to features of Waterline. So moving on to Waterline, we can see that what we have are the brand new liveries for the trains, especially the Class 5 weight, but I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. But what's really going to stand out to people is the brand new 2-car exclusive route for Waterline, and that is the Morgantown shuttle. And you can tell it's only 2 routes. Start again. So what we can see is that we have the brand new livery for all rolling stock on Waterline. This is a really good looking livery, which I really appreciate on it. But the thing that most people are getting excited about, I reckon, is the 2-car exclusive route, which is the Morgantown shuttle, the highly anticipated Morgantown shuttle. Now, you can tell it's only exclusive for 2-car trains, because whenever you click on a 4-car or even a 3-car, it does not turn up in your route selector. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take the Class 171 and we're going to take it for a spin. It's a 5-minute route taking us from Benton to Morgantown via Morgantown docks and Port Benton. And we're going to spool in at the brand new Morgantown siding. Let's go.
This train is now approaching Morgantown.
1723 Waterline service to Benton. Calling at Morgantown docks, Port Benton and Benton. This train has 2 coaches.
So here we are at Morgantown.
This is
It's a bit weird seeing a Waterline
Morgantown.
service here. And as we can see, it is another one of these network managed stations, though strangely enough it doesn't have a Transport for Stepford logo on the signs, unlike the likes of Stepford Central and Stepford Victoria. Make of that what you will. Apart from that, not much has changed in the way of station layout. The only thing to note is that we finally have a use for the Morgantown shuttle 2-car stop. So as we shut our doors very abruptly, bit of a glitch there, we can then depart off in the direction of Morgantown docks over a brand new bridge, well, not brand new, but a now used bridge that you'll see in a second. So here we are at Morgantown docks, and what we can see here is that these have the brand new Waterline station signs, which are they're really nice. I really do like them. They're very sleek, very professional, and I think they've done a really good job with all of the station redesign with the brand new Waterline colours. Then honk the horn
Welcome aboard this Waterline train to
and make our way to Port Benton.
The
I'm not going to
next
do much of a
station
time
is
lapse here
Port Benton.
because as you can see it's just 0.07 miles an hour, if that.
Only. This train
And we
has
then
2
slow
coaches.
down into here and we stop. Interestingly enough, even on the Waterline
This is
platforms,
Port
it still
Benton.
says Stepford Connect on the station signs, which that might be something that needs to be fixed. However, it's not necessary at this point in time. So, slowing down into Benton. Just coming into a gradual stop. There hasn't been much improvement when it comes to Benton. However, this is, yet again,
This
another
is Benton.
sort of
This train
National
terminates
Rail
here.
managed
All
station,
change, please.
and it has a logo to reflect that, which looks really rather nice. And so when you get to the end of the route, you're graced with 25 points and 4 experience. The next section is to do with network improvements. And when I say network improvements, that's just like things that aren't necessarily specific to each line. So we're going to make our way to Coxley, into the main entrance, and already you can see, wow, this is a change. This is a massive change. I mean, we now have this glass frontage here. They've still left the posters up saying that they'll notice where we're removing our logo from stations and trains. They've already done that. But we now have this concourse up here, where we can then walk through our barriers and down onto the platforms. As you can see, we've still got platform 1, 2, there's a little class 68 in the distance there. However, what we don't appear to have anymore, and I could be mistaken here, is a platform 4. We no longer have more than 3 platforms. It's a bit sad, really, but yeah, it's an alright improvement. I have to say, I did like former Coxley. It had a sense of charm to it, you know. But I guess we can't complain. It's an alright looking station, and let's face it, that's what we want. Good looking stations. So it's a yes from me. So, Stepford High Street. One of the most hated stations in my opinion. It now has this lovely new redevelopment, where it looks a lot nicer, I'll give it that. Still have that mega issue where you can't see around corners properly when dispatching, especially because of these massive columns, but it's a major improvement on how it looked before. Open and airy. I think that's really the theme for this new update, open and airy stations. And it just generally looks quite good, especially when you don't run into those things. And for one of the last bits here for network, we're at West Benton, which has this lovely looking sign outside. But what we can see here, just remembering who managed to do a lot of development for Stepford County Railway before he stepped down earlier this year, Matty X 2013. He carried out the fleet upgrade programme for interiors and working doors, and well, yeah, you don't get any badge for climbing on the statue, unfortunately, but you do get that. So speaking of little statues that you can get badges from, this is Ereb. Yreb? I still can't say the name. Redesigned Stepford district scenery and the shells for CSG trains. However, speaking of badges, I believe that now, yep, there we go, the Way to the World award. You can now climb this statue. You can't go too far with it, I don't think. And you get a badge. So anyone who's an intrepid explorer, there you go. If you come to Stepford Central as well, or if you just push M, well, it should have been as you pushed M, but let's face it, that doesn't seem to be working at the moment. You can see that we do have a brand new look for the map of the Stepford County Railway. It looks quite good. it now shows limited stop sections and most services. So that's helpful. And yeah, it's just a nice looking new look map for the network. So that's it for this update video. I've only covered the things that you can really see, as there are other things that I've updated, but they're more background things that are a bit technical and the normal player doesn't need to know, really. So everything that I've covered is all the aesthetic things. If you want to know more about the back end sort of things, I'll leave a link to the update log by Bandtech in the description. So if you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, then make sure to subscribe. And if you want, follow me on Twitter. Feels like ages since I've promoted my Twitter. At Scottish Lord YT. So, thank you for watching. You've been a wonderful viewer. Goodbye.